Hi, my name is Michael Tarby. I'd like to welcome you to this quick little video. This video is going to highlight some information and some adaptations that you can use or understand better the information in this book, which is Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley. I recently became a certified trainer in the program that was developed from this book by Mike Dooley, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of what I think will help you understand a little bit more about the actual practicality and the actual basis and truth that is behind infinite possibilities. One of the first things we're going to talk about is the infinite possibilities. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? And basically it means to me, anything is possible. That means I can be whatever I want, whoever I want, dress like I want, have the friends that I want, anything that you can imagine. And it seems a little far-fetched sometimes, because when we look at the world around us, especially in our own little circle or our own little piece of the world, a lot of times we don't look at that and say, oh yeah, I can do anything I want. No, I can't. Well, I'm here to tell you, say, yeah, you can. And hopefully this will explain a little bit more to make you believe, to make you feel that you can. And that really is a core principle of infinite possibilities, is that you have to have the belief, and then you have to have that feeling, then you generate the thoughts, and then it happens. So that's where the magic happens. But let me go back to the beginning of something that I was thinking about and how maybe I can relate it to everybody, and it's so clear. What I was thinking about is when we're children, what do we hear our parents always tell us? Typically, you can do anything that you want to do. You could be anything. And what's the second thing that parents usually say right after that? As long as you're happy. I want you to be happy. So think of those two words or two phrases that parents always tell their children. Now, are parents being, I don't know, overzealous or thinking too big for their children? No, they're genuinely saying that. They're genuinely meaning that. And where does that belief come from? That's not a belief that's limited to a certain person, a certain family, a certain culture, a certain anything. It's universal. And that is part of the key. It's universal. It's everywhere. So when we look at that and we hear the parents say, you can do anything you want to do, the parents genuinely believe that. But it's the hope. It's the hope, but it's also the belief that it's true. And in that truth is the answer for us for the rest of our lives. Nothing changes. Whether we're a child, a teenager, or an adult, the universe stays the same. So the only thing that we're doing is we're growing and we're changing in that. But so many times what happens is we lose that perspective that we can do anything that we want. And we are attached to this universal energy or universal power, which is the basic truth. So what happens to that child with that amazement, that wonder, that, endless possibilities? What happens is that we start getting conflicting beliefs. We start going to school, we start getting labels. You're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid. It could be so many different perceived limitations. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be something that's perceived just because of somebody's race, religion, or skin color. It could be endless. You know how kids could be. No matter who you are, they're going to find something to make fun of you about. Whether it's your name, your looks, your family, where you live, what kind of bicycle you have, the clothes you wear, it's inevitable. That's part of our society. But here's the interesting thing, and again about the law of attraction and the power and abundance of the universe, is why do people do that? Why do we start out all of a sudden labeling people and in a way trying to put them down? The reason is because we don't feel that there's enough for everybody. If there's only number one, what comes after that? Well, people who are not number one. But it doesn't mean that you can't be number one at something that nobody else can. But a lot of times we're so fixated on these common categories that we forget that you can excel at so many different other things. And yes, it's great to be number one, but whatever that means to you, but you could be number one and not technically be number one, if you know what I'm saying. So what happens is we start developing these belief systems that contradict what we've been initially told, that you can do anything and the sky's the limit and all these wonderful things. And all of a sudden the beliefs start creeping in. You know, maybe I can't do that, or he's better, or what's the sense? I'm never going to be good enough. I'm never going to be as good as so-and-so. And that's kind of what starts the downward path, where before you know it, all these beliefs start building up, and now you feel like you're limited. The thing is, I'm here to tell you is that you're never limited, and you were never limited to begin with. Your own limitations are in here. And that's where the thoughts are, and that's where your beliefs are, and that's where your emotion is. So that's where the law of attraction really comes into play. This is how it's all connected. Because if you understand that you're not limited and there is so much around you, there's opportunity everywhere. There's opportunity where you don't even see opportunity. There's opportunity where you never even thought of looking. Opportunity will come to you in many cases. The thing is that you have to change your mindset. Like that famous quote from Henry Ford, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's so simple, but when you look at life, that's really what it's all about. Do you think you can or do you think you can't? Now, in your life, everybody's got challenges. Everybody's got obstacles in a way, and everybody's got limitations in a certain way. But that doesn't mean that you still can't rise to whatever you desire. I mean, especially now in the days of the media and YouTube, the world is displaying for you that your possibilities are endless. No matter who you are, what your background is, what your limitations are, if you have any, or if you believe you have any, the human body is doing things that nobody even dreamed of before. If you look at free running and parkour and the Olympics, the stage is just getting higher and higher. Records are being broken all the time. How could that possibly be? It's because we're evolving and it's never ending. The possibilities are never ending. You could be faster, better, smarter. And again, it doesn't have to be in a huge way. It has to be right for you. But the thing is, again, back to when you're a kid, do whatever you want to do and be happy. What more could you want from life? And it's all there. It's all there for you. But you just have to believe. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you can do better than somebody else. It doesn't matter what family you're from, what neighborhood you're in. Yes, that might be where you begin, but that's not where you end. And that's not where you have to end. And those aren't your limiting beliefs for the rest of your life. You don't have to be limited by where you begin. And that's one of the beauties of life. You don't have to end where you begin. And another beautiful thing is every day, every second is a new beginning. You could change at any time, any day. Every day is the right day. Any day is the right day. The thing is that you have to take action and you have to understand that it can happen and it will happen. When you look at your past and you start kind of analyzing or looking for little pieces or clues that kind of reinforce this thinking as opposed to breaking it down, it's much easier to find. Now, when we use the workbook accompanying this book, Infinite Possibilities, we go to some exercises that kind of show you or reinforce it that, you know, this stuff isn't so far-fetched as you might believe, and it really does have a basis in your own life. And nothing says it's true to you more than seeing in your past how it's happened before. The interesting thing is, if it's happened before, it can happen again. And if it happened again, it can happen even more often. And again, you can see where the snowball starts to take effect. But it's a positive snowball. One thing can build on another and a build on another. And before you know it, you can look back and say, oh my God, I don't even understand how it was, all those steps that I took to actually get here, but here I am. And holy cow, I did it. There's probably points in everybody's life that maybe aren't climbing Mount Everest or having that corner office with the great view, but there are probably things in your life that you can look back and say, wow, I succeeded at that. I did that. That was awesome. And I did that. Another thing that we have to think about is our thoughts. Our thoughts are energy. And that's one of the core concepts that you have to understand to grasp the law of attraction. Now, some of it's beyond my scope. I don't really understand it. But I do believe that we are all connected. I do believe that there is a power grid, if you would. Just picture, for example, that if you're playing bumper cars, if you remember at the old amusement parks, so you have an individual car, but you have a pole sticking up from the back of your car, and basically it's connected to an electrical grid that powers and gives your car juice to run around and bump into everybody else. That's pretty cool. There's no wires or anything, but you're connected to that higher electrical grid. What if that's the same thing with us? What if we're all independent like those bumper cars, but we have an invisible antenna or pole that's sticking up into the universe that's pulling all that energy down? Doesn't that make sense? Why couldn't it be like that? So if we can tap that universal energy, you don't need wires and plugs and cords and to be connected, hardwired into something. You're hardwired all the time. You're automatically connected. You're born connected to this universal energy. And that universal energy is energy. What energy means, it can do things. It can put things in motion. It can activate. It can change. It can force. It can push. It can pull. It can do all these miraculous things. So let's give a quick review of what I've covered a little bit. The first thing you have to understand is that it's your birthright. It's your birthright, everybody's birthright, to have access to this universal energy that is abundant and never ending and always available. From the time that you're born, the universe wants you to succeed. The universe is set up on your behalf to give you infinite possibilities. Now, in infinite possibilities, that means in every realm, in every way, in every shape. It's only limited by what your imagination. And that is pretty amazing. So this is the book, Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley. I recently got certified to train the program that Mike Dooley came up with to accompany this book. Now, ideally, it's for people who want to have a better understanding of the information in here and how it's easier to apply. One of the key things with a book or information is if you understand it, you're much more likely to embrace it and use it. And that's one of the keys of this. Also, it's kind of an eye-opener for a lot of different people. And again, some of it might seem a little bit surreal and metaphysical. And in a way it is, because it is magical, but it's also real. And it has concrete evidence and concrete manifestations that if you just look around you and even in your life, you can clearly see. And with that, that gives you the energy, power, and focus to use this material to better your life in so many different ways and be much happier than you've ever been. So wherever you are now, you're not stuck. Again, this is the beginning of whatever. This is the beginning of the rest of your life, but this is the beginning of finding more joy and finding more happiness, finding more energy, more connection, more anything that you want. And it's true, and it's real, and it's happening right now. Again, my name is Michael Tarby. I'm a certified Infinite Possibilities trainer. If you'd like for me to come speak to your group or to teach the Infinite Possibilities program, please contact me at emotionanddevotion.com. Also, I highly recommend that you get the book Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley. Thanks for spending some time with me and watching this video. I hope that you got something from it. Maybe it helps you understand a little bit more about the law of attraction, universal energy, what your birthright is, and the power and magnificence of it all. And it's right here, right now, in you. Thank you.